right, let's now shift focus over to the rising tensions in the Middle East, particularly Iran. The Pentagon has redirected the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group from the South China Sea towards the Gulf region, a move that's signaling Washington's readiness for possible kinetic action against Iran. US defense officials have said that the redeployment comes as unrest inside Iran is intensifying and as Tehran's proxies are already stepping up missile and militia threats across the region. The strike group, currently transiting westward, is expected to arrive within a week, bolstering American deterrence alongside allies like Israel. With the carrier's arrival, the US is sending a clear message that it is prepared to respond swiftly if the situation escalates. Let's quickly break this down for you, what this is going to mean as far as the movement of USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft and some of its escort warships are concerned. In fact, it's a striker group. It's heading towards the Middle East from the South China Sea. To, in fact, break it down for you, remember it was deployed in November of last year. There was no official confirmation from the Pentagon in terms of its movement, but what we can tell you is that it has departed from South China Sea. In fact, our sources are telling us that currently it is somewhere in the Arabian Sea, in the Indian Ocean, and that's how it is moving towards the Middle East. You can expect it to roughly arrive within 5 days from now. It had departed San Diego in late November 2025 with almost no fanfare. And in fact, reports are indicating that Pentagon was maintaining a deliberate strategic silence about its location. The Department of Defense did announce where it would be deployed. It will take about 5 days for the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group to transit from the Indo-Pacific all the way to the Middle East. Now, why is this going to be concerning? Let's also explain you why. Because the USS Abraham Lincoln is a Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. It was commissioned in 1989 with more than 35 years of active service. This floating fortress weighs 100,000 tons. It's powered by 2 nuclear reactors, giving it virtually unlimited range and the ability to operate anywhere in the world without refueling. Its air wing delivers overwhelming force from the sky that includes FA-18 Super Hornets, the EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare, E-2D Hawkeyes for airborne command and control, and MH-60 Seahawks for anti-submarine and rescue missions. Protecting the carrier are Arleigh Burke-class destroyers guarding against air and submarine threats. These warships are armed with dozens of Tomahawk cruise missiles capable of striking target groups up to 1,000 miles away. Why does this matter at all? The USS Abraham Lincoln is battle-tested. It's capable of rapid, decisive strikes, even ideally suited for deployment in West Asia. Its presence sends a clear message that the United States is prepared, positioned, and watching closely. As the US President said, they are locked and loaded. Where would the USS Lincoln now dock? What are the US assets in the Middle East if they were to consider a decisive strike on Iran? Remember, the US maintains a significant military presence across the Middle East. It's in fact got its own bases. If you were to look at the Middle Eastern nations, let's break it down for you. They have a strength of roughly 600 troops in Oman, down in the Middle East. You're also looking at, in fact, Qatar. The strength is close to 13,000 troops over there. Although the air base is very much over there. In fact, what we are also being told is that they've already started vacating their troops from Qatar. As far as the naval support activity is concerned, you have Bahrain supporting the US troops over there. Roughly the strength is 7,000. Let's look at Saudi Arabia. It's not, in fact, on very good terms at the moment, but it is also holding the US president back from striking Iran. They have, in fact, close to a strength of 3,000 troops. Kuwait, 13,000. Syria, as we all know, after the fall of Bashar al-Assad, US was quick in sending its troops, 2,000 as far as the strength is concerned. Turkey, the strength is close to 2,500. So all of these nations, what we are being told, are also playing a very critical role in sort of telling the US president that he needs to come up with a decisive plan, because even though the USS striker group, USS Abraham Lincoln, is on its way, it's not going to suffice in breaking down the Iranian regime. Where would the USS Lincoln dock? What are the US assets in the Middle East if they were to consider this strike on Iran?